intestines. Turn them inside. That's all right. They're gonna be hanging up next to the fucking banner in the league. Let's go. I don't want to hear y'all. Let's go, baby. I'm looking for a motherfucking pink puff of smoke out the back of the next motherfucker's head that y'all take off. Let's go. Eagles kill. 1, 2, 3. Eagles kill. Let's go.
This is 50 and Bryan Braman.
How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm well.
You see, am I dressed
Oh
appropriate?
yeah, you good. I like that. That makes the outfit.
Yeah. I thought you'd be a little bit more nice and give me more information if I wear this hat, you know. Would that work? Did I kind of?
You lighten the mood a little.
Okay.
You might get something.
Okay. So what's up, yo? This hair. I don't want to start to end, but this hair is amazing.
I appreciate it.
Can you give me like some tips? What do you do? Condition? What do you?
Nah, I feel like you need to give me tips. I feel like I'm back in the department, so I don't do very much.
That hair is amazing.
Thank you.
It's thick. Do you color? Is that natural?
Nah, the
highlights,
the story behind it was I was really trying to color my entire head, like go platinum blonde.
Seriously?
I ain't never really seen somebody with long hair as big as me, like my stature, do that. So I was like, you know what, I'm trying to be original. They colored it one time, didn't really color it the way they were supposed to, and from there I was like, I just don't like the way it textured my hair. And so now I'm growing it out.
You're making all of us women jealous with that, you know.
I don't think you're the first one to say that.
I'm saying, like, seriously.
I need to start worrying about that.
No, but does it get in the way when you play, like when you're playing?
So I tie it back. I either put it in one braid or I use a bunch of hair ties from the top of the ponytail to the bottom. Just keep it all one, because it does get pulled. If I play with it down, I'll end up by the end of the game having less hair than I started with, for sure.
Has it ever like interrupted your game or anything? Like, has it ever? You playing?
Multiple times it's gotten stuck in the helmet. Like I go to pull the helmet off and it's like stuck in my face. When it's like this. We got to figure out how to get it out. It just doesn't work. But otherwise, not like in the middle of the play or anything like that. There's been a couple players that have grabbed it and taken a good chunk out of it. That's kind of why it's tied up now from now on.
But you know, surprisingly and very interestingly, I see that you actually were in fashion before you got into football.
Yeah.
Abercrombie.
I like, you know, that was actually kind of a funny story how I got started in that. A friend of mine actually told me that I looked like one, and we kind of plotted this whole plan to go to Abercrombie & Fitch and see if I could get recruited as a model, and I did. And that's kind of what started it. Yeah, that's kind of what started it. And then I just kind of got involved with that, photographers, trying to see what I could do, Fashion Week wise and stuff like that. So I've dabbled in it, and I think it'll probably be something that I'll get into more after football.
Oh, but, that would be dope.
Yeah, I had to take advantage of football. They wanted a lot of time, and that commitment just wasn't. I wasn't ready for it. Football is. There's really only a certain amount of time that you have an opportunity to play, and I wanted to make sure I exhausted that before. Okay. You know what? I'll probably look like this in 5-10 years down the line, so I'll revisit it when it comes time.
So how does it feel, like winning the Super Bowl? How do you feel right now?
Tired, really.
Exhausted?
I feel like I've been running around everywhere, but it's been great. It's actually a dream come true. I honestly sat around thinking about it, like, you spend so much time chasing something, you invest so much time into something, and then when you achieve it, it's kind of like you feel like you're supposed to wake up from the dream, and you're kind of lost, like in limbo. Like, what do you do now? Do you come up with a new dream? Do you chase another dream for another 30 years? You try to accomplish that? I don't know. But it's been awesome. It's been fun. Met a lot of great people. Just trying to keep the experiences rolling.
So how is it being in Philly? Like, are you a Meek Mill fan?
I am.
You are. I'm a Meek fan. Free Meek Mill.
Free Meek Mill.
So how is that? It's like your team members like Philly. Like, how does that go? Like, you guys play? Do you play it in the locker room?
We do,
like
everywhere.
Okay.
It's really kind of like a broad field of rappers that end up in the locker room. I mean, there's some guys that are friends with other rappers more than one another, and they always end up playing their music. Plus, so many different backgrounds come into the locker room that you get a wide variety of music in there. You got to play the country for the O linemen and stuff like that. You got to play hip hop from one area. You know, some of the white linebackers, they like the rock and roll or the indie music a little bit more. So you definitely get a wide variety.
What kind of music do you like?
I like hip hop, rap.
So who do you listen to? Like who if I got into your car and we were just driving, like who would I hear?
It'd be the top 40. I'm real big on that. You know, I love the new sound and everything that's been coming out. You know, Migos, Drake, Kendrick, obviously for the last decade. You know, I was actually just in LA with Bump Thugs and Harmony. I gotta give them a shout out. Great group of guys. You know, obviously since like 7th grade, been listening to them, so that was kind of crazy being able to kick it with them. But yeah, you know, obviously Biggie, Tupac. You know, I feel like those are just givens.
Yeah, you gotta definitely. I'm a big Tupac.
Grew up on Nas, all the way to, you know, Tech Nine and Too Short. I listen to it a lot, you know. But if you were to get in my car, I'd turn on the playlist. It'd be probably the top 40.
Okay, so I was doing a little research, and they said that you have this like crazy charismatic personality.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Am I disappointed? Yeah, I need to turn up the energy.
Yeah, turn up. I want to know. I'm like, 'cause I'm sitting here, you're like,
yeah.
I don't know. So like, where did this come from? Like, what
Just
do you do? Are you like
I think
extra crazy? You turn up in like the locker room? Like, what do you?
I do. I'm known for turning up quite a bit in the locker room, actually doing like pregame speeches and stuff.
Okay.
A lot of the guys, they try to ask me like, man, do you practice this, or is this just straight off of the top? And yeah, man, you know, I'm in the locker room, I'm feeling it. I just, you know, I stand there and really think about like everything that kind of drives me and where I'm trying to go. And most of the time, where I'm trying to go is a dark place. So coming off of the top of the head, just say some crazy shit. People are like, yo, what's wrong with this dude? But I think then, like, once they actually get to sit down and talk with me and they really see what my personality's like, they're like, okay, this dude is really kind of crazy, but he's cool to kick it with. You know, he's cool to kick it with. But no, I hope I'm not being too.
No, you're good. You're good. But when I was like, okay, doing research, I seen everybody like, he's a crazy guy. He's a crazy guy. He's a fun guy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
I just growing up, meeting all types of new people. Really, I think that's what kind of contributed to my outgoing personality. But I can talk to anybody. It don't matter. You only make it awkward, you know, if you make it awkward.
Exactly. So. I think that's what makes, you know, when you become an athlete or you become someone that people look up to, when you just be yourself and you're real charismatic and you show your crazy side, that's what people like that. And they feel like they can relate to you, you know?
Yeah.
So do you get like a lot of young boys who maybe come to you, want you to mentor them or kind of like talk to them or give them advice on their dream of becoming a football player?
I feel like parents. I feel like parents, they kind of see their kids, you know, they want the best for them. And then, you know, the parents, they become familiar with my story, where I come from, the humble beginnings.
Can you tell us a little bit, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I come from Spokane, Washington, born and raised, spent 18 years there. My mom did everything she could as a single mother, make sure I had everything I needed in order to pursue every opportunity that may have been presented. And she didn't want there to be any excuse as to why I wasn't able to take full advantage of it. So, yeah, I feel like remembering where you come from is very important to who you become, and holding on to that, you know, you can take yourself far. So parents, they see my background and they want that for their kids. You know, they want to let their kids know that it doesn't matter the adversity or the environment wherever you come from. As long as you put your you know, heart and soul into something, if you're willing to struggle and bleed for something, that you can really make it happen. And so that's kind of how I get into it with the kids. Like their parents will be like, hey, you know, my son, he's, you know, done to the age, I need him to, you know, realize that, you know, things aren't going to be easy, that, you know, the road that he's going to lead is going to have some bumps, and he needs to just know that at the end of the tunnel there's going to be light. And I feel like that's important, because I didn't have much of a father figure or a mentor that I needed when I was a child. You know, my grandfather did a great job of stepping in and really showing me what it was like to be a man, how he raised his kids. And that was big. When I lost him in high school, I kind of lost my way.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And, you know, I felt like it's important. I need to help kids know that there's an easier road or an easier path than the one that I took, and they need to know that it's there, and
they need encouragement.
I feel like if I had that, I probably would have made different decisions that wouldn't have made my path so complicated.
So like in the future, do you plan to do like football camps, like
So I'm actually on my way up to Washington this weekend. So Spokane Youth Sports Association, doing a fundraiser with them. I feel like they played a huge role in my childhood, as far as making sure that I was staying out of trouble, off the streets, keeping my schedule busy after school, being able to head there. And academics wasn't really my strong point. So after school tutoring programs and stuff like that my mother put me in definitely helped me on the academic side and stuff. So, getting into it now, but definitely when I have more time after I'm done playing, it'll be something that I really dive into a lot more.
That's really impressive. I think that's good. You definitely need to stick to that,
I appreciate that.
Proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so what's next for the Eagles?
A free agency. I think that's the biggest thing. Really just trying to keep the team together. After a Super Bowl like that, a lot of people can get pulled in a lot of different directions. Coaching staff can change. Free agents come up, and the money on the market seems to be a little bit higher than it normally would be. So really being able to keep it together is kind of, in my opinion, the struggle. But the Philadelphia Eagles organization has been doing a really good job the last couple of years. Obviously put together a great team last year. I don't see why they can't do it next year. Okay,
so if you could create your own roster, who would be on your team?
You know what? I'd just copy the exact roster of the Philadelphia Eagles. That Super Bowl roster. Why not, right? You got to.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, if we're talking about like an all fantasy team, then we can start throwing some Hall of Famers in there. I was a huge fan of Brett Favre, Michael Strahan.
It's a good lineup.
Yeah, I mean, to build an offense and a defense around, I feel like that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Will you guys be going to the White House?
No, I think it's better that we stick together as a team.
Yeah.
And the organization had released a statement that if there was ever an invitation extended from the White House, that we would respectfully decline. And we believed that showed team unity. And we think as far as our locker room goes, that's important.
Okay. What's your thoughts on Colin Kaepernick and the teams kneeling and Donald Trump trying to diss the athletes? How do you feel about that?
Obviously, I'm very strongly. I feel like everybody needs an opinion, and if you're not willing to stand by your opinion, then it's definitely questionable. I feel like with Colin Kaepernick and the way Donald Trump and the NFL has kind of interpreted that, I feel like the language has kind of gotten jumbled up, and the thing that Colin was actually trying to get across was lost. I believe that with everything going along with the military, the flag, the national anthem, everything, so many different people were taking offense to it in so many different ways. One thing might bug them a little bit more than another, and just everything kind of got lost in translation.
And social media, people
blow it up.
Yeah. Social media blew it up.
And you can really turn it into anything. Yeah. So, I can definitely relate with Colin Kaepernick with what he was trying to bring attention to. I definitely feel like there's always multiple ways of using your platform and how you want to portray your message. I also believe that it's very important that you think about the way that message is going to be conveyed. And, it's unfortunate the way it's kind of got mixed up and misinterpreted, but I definitely think it's important to stand up for what you believe in. So I have to stand next to him with that.
I agree with that. And hopefully, next year things will be a little more calm and we'll be talking about something else. You guys will be winning again for the second time. You guys will be winning again next year, and
people will forget about it. But time heals all wounds. So we'll see how long it takes to die off. Now that we're in the age of social media, and it definitely it's hard to kill off.
Okay, did you see when Kevin Hart? How did you feel about that when he got denied access?
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. I mean, honestly, I think it's going to be great when he puts it into one of his skits. Like, whatever the next skit is going to be hilarious. And the fact that you can say that you were a part of that and you saw it and stuff like that. But that's how serious it is, you know?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart he's huge and means a lot to Philadelphia. So for something like that to happen it's huge. It's huge, and I think that's why it got blown up.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that? All-Star Weekend. He's out there on the court. He's getting dunked over and stuff with his family. So, you know, he's definitely in the public eye, and people know who he is. But sorry, Kevin, you didn't have the right credentials, bud. You didn't have the right credentials. That was nuts. That was crazy. I feel for him though.
I want to go back a little bit. So did you think it was possible to defeat Brady and the Patriots? Like, what was your thoughts? Like, what was your thought process going into
this whole...
whole...
no doubt. There was no doubt. Okay. And that was the way the whole locker room was. You know, they lost Carson, and it was like, yo, we're still winning this. Like, you're not going to stop us. There's no way you're going to stop us. And that was the mindset. Everybody... Oh, the Philadelphia Eagles lost Carson Wentz. He was the offense. They're not winning another game. What we do? Okay, New York, we win. Oakland, we win. Dallas, we sat all our starters. Didn't win that one. That's okay. Went into the playoffs, handled it. It was unbelievable. It was great. It was awesome.
So I see that you're a family man.
Yes, I have 2 kids.
Okay.
Daughters. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, Blakely and Marlo, and I'm actually kind of worried about how crazy they're going to be. They live fearless, and I love it.
Well, they get that from you.
Yeah, yeah. I love it to death. You know, just watching them grow. Obviously, seeing yourself in them. It's nuts. Fatherhood is probably the most challenging thing, but most satisfying thing I've done to date.
So are you working on a boy?
I want to. I need a boy. My family name actually dies with me. So, you know, daughters, you know, being married off, changing their last names and stuff. I need a boy.
So if you had a son, would you encourage him to play football, or would it be like whatever?
Honestly, I'd support him in whatever he wanted to do. If he committed to something, he'd have to commit to it until he was done with it. I feel like that was really important to me when my mom, you know, I got into sports and stuff. She wouldn't let me skip practice. If I was saying, oh, I'm sore or I'm sick, I don't feel like going, you know, she would really press me, make sure that I showed up. And, you know, I would probably encourage him to go another direction just because as much as I've learned about the game and what it does to you mentally, physically, you know, but if he wanted to do it, it'd be hard for me to say I couldn't encourage him.
So is there anything else like the viewers need to know about you, like outside of football, outside of fashion?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's a fan of movies. You know, I like movies, right?
Comedy, drama,
action. Big action fan. I'd love to be an actor. I think it's something that I've
see you doing that.
Been exploring. Now that my football career is actually coming to an end, really trying to think of what I'm trying to do outside of that. Play around with real estate and stuff, but I feel like the demographic for that is like just old people. So I mean, I'm trying to stay relevant.
Oh yeah, you know what?
So,
with that being said, with the fear in that, like, is that something that kind of like constantly you think about, like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, you know,
yeah, because it can end at any time.
Yeah,
that's like everybody knows the NFL.
A lot of people get injured.
That's 100%. So just, you know, making sure that you got your money right. That's
exactly.
Important.
Investments.
Yeah.
Investments.
Yeah. Make that money work for more money.
Exactly.
Yeah. Instead of trading your time.
And before we go, I just want you to send a message to the young boys that are out here playing football, basketball, sports, anything that they're doing, you know, athletic, like, and they're feeling a little discouraged or, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe drop a jewel on them, something that you kept in your mind to keep you going and motivated.
Yeah, you just stay on the grind. Don't stop. You know, there's definitely going to be highs and lows along your career. Just make sure that the lows don't last as long as the highs. And when you're high, you take advantage of all of it, experience it all, and You know, take care of everything off the field. Academics, family, just balance in your life in general, and everything else will take care of itself.
Really good advice. And shout out, this is 50.
Yo, yeah.
Turn up.
Why are we talking about movies? Yo, hey.
Shout out Power. Shout out.
Give me something. Let me see what we can do. I love it. I'm a big fan.
All right, thanks for having you.
Right,
We need to
appreciate
stand
it.
up so they can see how tall you are. I'll probably come right to your waist. Look at this. This is crazy.
Hey.
And look at this hair. Oh, I'm jealous.
Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really do appreciate it.